Welcome to the Vocab Architect. Ever stop and think about where our words really come from? Well, today we're digging into something amazing, how our own bodies, our hands, and our most basic feelings shaped the very words we use for skill, awkwardness, and even evil. So let's jump right in. Have you ever heard someone make a really awkward comment and thought, wow, that was gosh? Or use the word sinister to describe something creepy? Why those words? The answers are actually hiding in plain sight, and they tell a pretty fascinating story about our history. And believe it or not, the secret is in our hands, literally, and in these ancient Latin and Greek roots that are like the bedrock of the English language. So let's start this etymological journey. First up, let's talk personality, and it all boils down to this one really powerful Latin verb, verto. All it means is to turn, and this single root is the key to unlocking a whole family of words we use to describe how people tick. And check out how logical this is. An introvert? Well, intro means inward, so they turn their thoughts inward. Makes sense, right? An extrovert turns them outward. And an ambivert? Ambi means both, so you guessed it, they can turn their thoughts both ways. The logic is just built right into the word. So simple. All right, so from personality types, we're going to pivot to something I find absolutely incredible. It's a story that's literally etched into our language. This ancient battle between the left and the right hand. And this, my friends, is where things get really interesting. Just take a look at this. On one side, the left hand is linked with words like sinister and gosh, awkward stuff. But the right hand, it gets dexterous and adroit. All words about skill and grace. So what's the deal? Let's break down exactly why this crazy bias exists. Okay, so here's the first big aha moment. The word dexterous, which means skillful, comes straight from dexter, which is just Latin for right hand. And get this, to be ambidextrous literally means to have two right hands. The bias is baked right into the word itself. Wild, isn't it? Now, on the flip side, you've got the word sinister. Today, we think of it as evil or threatening, right? But its origin, it's just the Latin word for left hand. That's it. This tells you so much about the deep-seated historical suspicion towards left-handed people. And here it is, the answer to our very first question. The word gauche, which we use for someone who's socially clumsy, it's nothing more than the French word for left hand. So a tactless comment is literally a left-handed comment. How incredible is that? And what's the perfect opposite of gauche? It's adroit. This means skillful, clever. And yep, you guessed it, it's built from droit, the French word for right hand. So in both Latin and French, the right hand gets all the glory. Okay, let's move on from hands and talk about hearts. We're going to jump into the world of Greek roots now and explore words that describe our most basic social feelings, love and hate. All right, let's start with the haters. The Greek root misane means to hate. So when you combine it with anthropos, which means mankind, you get a misanthrope, a hater of humanity. Simple. Combine it with gyne, or woman, and you get a misogynist. And if you mix it with gamos, which is marriage, well, you get a misogynist, someone who really, really hates the idea of marriage. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. The total opposite of a misanthrope is a philanthropist. See how they both share that root anthropos for mankind? But this time we're using philos, the Greek root for love. So a philanthropist is a lover of mankind. A nice little flip. So let's stick with that gamos root, the one for marriage, and see what happens when we start adding numbers into the mix. Just remember these prefixes. Monos is one, bi is two, and polys means many. Got it? Okay, let's see how they work. Okay, so here we go. Monogamy is one marriage at a time. Pretty straightforward. Bigamy, that's the unlawful act of having two spouses. And polygamy is the custom of having many spouses. See, once you know the roots, the logic just clicks right into place. And for our final word today, let's look at ascetic. This comes from the Greek word asketes, which actually meant monk or hermit. So an ascetic is someone who lives a really simple, strict life of self-denial. Think of a monk living a quiet, contemplative life, avoiding all those worldly pleasures. All right, you have absorbed a ton of knowledge. So what do you say we put it to the test? It's time for a quick pop quiz. You ready? Let's see what you remember. First question, which word describes someone who is mentally skillful and quick-witted? Is it A, gauche, B, adroit, or C, sinister? If you said B, adroit, you are 100% correct. That's from the French for right hand. Nice! Question number 2. A misanthrope is a person who hates A, marriage, B, women, or C, mankind. The answer is C, mankind. Remember, meson is to hate and anthropos is mankind. You got this. And for our last one, the root word verto means to A, turn, B, hate, or C, skill. And the correct answer is A, turn. That's the root of introvert, extrovert, and ambivert. Fantastic job. So, how'd you do on the quiz? If you had fun building your vocabulary with us today, do me a favor and help build this channel by hitting that like button. And of course, subscribe to become a true vocab architect. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for another deep dive into the amazing stories behind our words.